Hey everyone, Tony Schmaltz here. Hey, I did a Facebook Live earlier about the 7 keys to the abundance mindset, and I thought it'd be a great one to share with you guys here. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, click like on this video below, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great night. Tony Schmaltz here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the 7 keys to an abundance mindset. But before I get into that, if you really want to be a part of an exciting mindset-driven group all about helping each other succeed, then drop me a yes please below and I'll send you the information. It's a free Facebook group we got going on. I think everyone would get along well there and do well there. So the 7 keys to an abundance mindset. So I was reading an article this morning from written by a woman named Angelina Zimmerman. And although I'd already known these things, really she kind of just put them in perspective. And so I wanted to summarize a little bit for you here. Those of you who have gotten to know me in the past few months know that I'm huge on mindset and an abundance mindset and preparing your mind for such. And those that have known me for a long time have probably seen the change in the past few months from where I was to where I am now. So the first thing is, thinking big versus thinking small. So I talk to many people that I'm coaching or mentoring or helping with their businesses where they're like, you know what, I just really want to make an extra $1,000 a month. No, yeah, and a lot of people, that's great. Extra $1,000 would help a lot of people. But why think so small? Man, you know what? I want to go get that big beach house. I want to have $1 million in my bank account. Now, you're going to have to start somewhere. And of course, you'll start with, $100, $200, $500, $1,000 a month, but think bigger. Start thinking further out. Thinking small is going to keep your accomplishments small. So make sure you're thinking big. Plenty versus lack. So a lot of people with the scarcity mindset are like, oh man, that market is so saturated. There's so many people doing online marketing. There's not enough to go around. Well, those who have an abundance mindset are looking at this like, hey, let's use social media marketing as an example. They're like, hey, there's 2.3 billion average users on Facebook every month. There's plenty to go around. I'm going to get a piece of that. So you got to know that there's plenty to go around for everybody. Whatever your business is, there's always enough out there. So happiness versus resentment. This is probably one of the most challenging ones for many people, and it has been for me in my career and business life. And that is, to be legitimately happy for somebody that succeeds instead of, comparing yourself to them and resenting them for being more successful than you or moving faster than you or having successes that you don't necessarily have. Being legitimately happy for those who have achieved success is really the true test of the character and of the abundance mindset. I admit I've struggled with that a lot. I compare myself to others. I'm getting past that, but it's been one of the tough ones for me. Embracing change versus fearing change, and this is again very challenging for a lot of people. I mean, how many times you're like, really, no, I'm gonna keep doing it this way. I don't really want to try that new way. I've been doing it this way for so long that, hey, I don't really want to do it. Hey, Matthew, good to see you, buddy. So a lot of people don't want to change. They're afraid of change. Why change anything? I'm comfortable right now. We're cruising along nice and smooth. So yeah, you're cruising around nice and smooth, but if you don't change anything, nothing's going to change. You may be trying to think big, like, hey, I want those fancy cars, that nice beach house, that $1 million, but if you're not willing to change or change anything in your life, then nothing's going to change and you're not going to see any of that. So make sure you're ready to embrace change, not afraid of change. And it all starts right here and right here. It's all about what's between your ears. So that's another big one. Being proactive versus reactive. How many times in our lives Any one of us. How many times do we wait for something to happen to us before we do something? You know, our car breaking down. Let's just use that as an example. And most of us are pretty good about getting our oil changed every 5,000 miles, et cetera, et cetera. But those of us that don't, you know, they're like, you know, they say the oils are good till 10,000 miles. I'm not going to worry about it. And then a few months later, boom, car breaks down. Great. Now you're having to, you know, react and take care of it. Whereas you can be proactive and do your maintenance every month. So a part of that's business as well. So to be proactive is making a plan, acting on that plan. You know, take action. When you've learned something new, act on it. You know, hey, I just learned how to redo my Facebook profile. Guess what? I'm going to go in there and change it. You know, make sure you take action, because if you don't take action, you're not proactive. You don't want to be the reactive. That's the scarcity mindset. That's the mindset we got to get everybody out of. Learning versus knowing it all. Those who have known me over the years, that's another one that was a struggle for me. You know, throughout my actual professional career, I was that guy. I was that know-it-all. I called myself confident, but in reality, I was a cocky know-it-all, and I recognize that now. I didn't recognize it then. So it's really being able to learn each and every day, because I don't care what your age is, you can teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, there's always something to learn. You know, some of these books back here that you're seeing behind me, I've read some of these things, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and every time I go through it, I learn something new. I've read it every time, but may not have clicked before. So there's always things you can learn each and every day through experiences, through training, through coaches, mentors, books. There's always something to be learned. Make sure you're learning versus thinking you're a know-it-all. And then pay attention, you know, document. You know, one of the things I do every day, and I think I've talked about this before, I write my journal every day about what I did the day before, or what I'm planning for that day, if I'm writing in the morning versus evening, and pay attention to what's working and what's not. If there's something that's working consistently, keep on doing that and expand on that. But if there's something that's not working, it might be time to make an adjustment, you know, change it. Unless there's reason for you to believe that something's going to come out of it, change what's not working and focus on what is working, and expand on what is working while you build what's not working so well. So that's number 7. So really, these are the 7 keys. So we talked about thinking big versus thinking small. Have a mind of plenty versus lacking. You know, be happy for others versus resenting them if they have a little more success. Embrace change versus fearing change. Be proactive instead of reactive. Learn versus knowing it all. And then focus on what is working versus what's not working. So those are the 7 keys to an abundance mindset. Make sure you take a look at those, do some more research on those, focus on those in your own lives, and you'll see a change almost immediately. So once again, hey, if you guys want to be a part of an exciting mindset-driven group, let me know. Say yes, please below, or send me a direct message. We've got this free Facebook group where it's all about helping people grow. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.